with any of the coaches. Instead, the president of the Red Hawks Club board. And if you're a member of the Red Hawks Club, used to be formerly called the Booster Club, but the president of the board also doubles as the owner and operator of Wings, etc. And that is Joe Hobbs, who is in a little bit of mourning today as his Patriots fell out of the top seed in the AFC and have dropped to number 2. Joe, how painful is it here with the New England Patriots going from the 1 seed to the 2 seed and looking up at my Kansas City Chiefs?
Well, that didn't take long.
No.
Michelle, be proud of you. It's pretty tough, but there's plenty of time left. I feel good.
And I know that you, obviously, if you're a diehard New England Patriots fan, then you are a Tom Brady fan. I don't know how much you root for Brady playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but I thought it was interesting. As Brady and the Bucs lose yesterday 9-0, it's the first time he has been shut out at home in his career, and the first time that he has been shut out since 2006. The team that shut him out, Nick Saban's Miami Dolphins.
Oh, how about that?
In 2006, it had been 255 games in a row, and there is not a single player in the NFL, a defensive player, that was in the NFL the last time that Tom Brady got shut out. How do you manage the Tom Brady fandom now that he doesn't wear the Patriots uniform?
He plays for somebody else. He doesn't play for my team. I was a Patriots fan before he got there. I'll be a Patriots fan long after he's gone. So good for him. We're glad he had him around. He gave us 6 rings, so we'll take that, and good luck to him down the road.
And he's got 7 rings now. We do see, especially when the Bucs came into Gillette Stadium, there were plenty of fans, or many fans, that had a half Buccaneer jersey, half Patriots jersey. What do you think of fans like that being a diehard Pats guy?
I get it. I'm not necessarily a big fan of it. I'm a Patriots fan, like I said, before he got there, after he's gone. But I get it for sure. I mean, you can't be a guy that brings that to your team for that many years and not respect it and not appreciate it. So even though he's gone, but having lived down in Tampa when they won their Super Bowl, was it 2002 when they won the first one?
Right, with Gruden?
With Gruden, yeah. So, he could have gone worse places. I'm good with that.
So, but do you secretly or openly root for the Bucs when they're not playing the Patriots?
Sure, yeah, when they're not playing the Patriots. But I was rooting for them before too. So
were you? How big of a Gronk fan were you? And to see them reunite down in Tampa,
that one hurt a little bit. I kind of call BS on that, but
he actually retired. I mean, that was it. He retired and
fully gone,
and Brady called him out of retirement.
I guess, if you're Tom Brady and you pick up the phone and call somebody, they're going to respond, right? And that's what happened. So
I don't know. I might be a Geico commercial or Progressive commercial. I can't remember what commercial it is, but have you seen the one where Gronk is sitting on the couch resting, and Tom Brady, he sees a news story that Gronk is coming out of retirement, according to Tom Brady, and he says, "Mom, where are my football pants?"
Yeah, like I said, if Tom Brady calls you, you answer the phone and you go, right?
All right. So this is your show. I mean, how many years now have you sponsored the Coaches Show? How many years have we been doing shows from Wings?
6 or 7, I think.
Okay.
I think this will be our 7th season, isn't it?
All right, and we don't do it for free. I mean, you are invested in this. Not only are you invested in the Coaches Show as a business owner, but you are fully invested in the Red Hawks Club and being a Red Hawk booster. In fact, of the Red Hawk Club board, you are the president. What does that entail, being the prez?
It entails trying to get out of being the president, and Nate keeps pulling me back in. It's
the Al Pacino scene from Godfather 3. They pull me back in.
Yeah, it just running the meetings, helping with the agenda, bouncing ideas off of Brady and Nate, just different things like that. Just kind of being in the loop so you can answer questions to people who ask. Because when we're out and about as board members, people ask us questions all the time. Hey, what's this going on? The stadium, the basketball team, football team, whatever. So just being able to answer questions for people is the biggest thing.
And when you answer questions. I'm sure one of the biggest questions you're getting right now, and as a member of the Red Hawks Club, there are many benefits, and we can talk about that. How is the fundraising going? Is that the most often asked question to you these days since the initiative of the Hawks Stadium renovation?
Definitely. The fundraising is going well. They haven't really rolled out the big piece of the capital campaign yet. There's a lot of conversations being held trying to raise that money, obviously.
And are you right in the middle of those?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't want to be.
Okay, I got you.
That's Brady's job. That's what he gets paid the big bucks for. But Brady's in there having those conversations, I know, and getting things done. So I feel good about it. They feel good about it. But there's going to be a lot going on here in the next 6, 8, 10 months for sure. So
now, when you say the major initiative of the capital improvement drive, when do you anticipate that kind of being rolled out and shown to people who potentially are going to help make this thing a reality?
Well, the initial phase, the demo, like we were talking about earlier, has been paid for. The university's pulled that check and a few other things going on. So good for them. One of the things that people ask a lot is, well, what about the university's involvement? How come the university's not putting up? How come you're coming to the public and asking? Well, the university's doing their part. They're definitely doing their part, and they're pulling checks for the right things. So I think here in the next few months, I think they're waiting to get through the holidays, and then they're going to start rolling out these campaigns to start really digging in and definitely grabbing the people's attention to try to start raising that money. There's a lot that has to be done. The first phase is just a small part of it, and if everybody can step up and pull the trigger, I think the rest of it will get done. It's going to be amazing. Problem, in my opinion, what people don't realize is, the first part's going to get rebuilt, and some people are going to be complacent, and that's just not good enough. We've got to go on to the next, the 1.2, 1.3, and 2.0 sections of the project. So it's going to be a pretty fantastic place. Definitely once it gets done. Media up there in the tower. You got a nice.
I've already been informed that the press box will not be ready for next season, so I'll be looking at those big screens again, which is just fine.
Yeah. But when it excuse me, when it does get done, it's going to be really amazing up there. That's
Can't
for
wait.
sure. So, have you seen the renderings?
I have.
Yeah, they look really good.
Now,
really
I have
good.
not seen a rendering of what the inside of the actual press box is going to be. I've seen the luxury suite area,
the concourse,
the common area where fans will be able to gather or go outside, get a seat, or stand and mingle and fellowship and watch the game through some big plate glass windows.
Yeah, and that's different than what a lot of places are doing right now. A lot of them are doing the suites or the boxes. Brady and the gang kind of took it a different direction, which I like. If you have a suite and you only have 15, 20 seats, you have to have 15 or 20 people every time and things like that. This being a little more open, I think it can be just more kind of like the end zone, where it's kind of more of a gathering, a fellowship, as you said, area, so people can kind of just hang out and enjoy the environment and see the game too. Obviously, if you want to sit down and watch the game from up there, so I'll stay in the end zone myself, but I'm good.
Joe Hobbs is the board president of the Red Hawks Club. He's joining us, of course, the owner and operator of Wings Etc. in Cape, Jackson, and the new location in Dexter just opened. We'll talk much more about that coming up. But when you look at what is going on over there at Hawks Stadium right now, everything on the south side, for the most part, has been taken down. Now there are some seats that go right up next to Houck Fieldhouse. They have not been taken out yet because there are weight-bearing issues there, so that's going to be a little slower process, but they're in the midst of doing that. The one thing people will notice when they drive by Houck Stadium, the arch. The arch entryway is still standing. Is that on purpose? Are they going to try and integrate the arch into the brand new facade?
The last that I heard, the last that I saw, that will go away.
Okay.
However, the new design has that arch into it, so they're gonna go ahead and continue that forward. That particular one will go. It's not structurally sound and things like that, so But so the new design has that archway that the old one had. It's incorporated into the new design. So.
I like that, to kind of remember,
Absolutely,
just exactly what stood there from 1930 to 2021.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it'll look really good. So it's going to be awesome.
And for anybody who has not seen the renderings on this, what is going to be a gorgeous facility, they can go to SEMORedHawks.com. It's right there on the front page, and you can go through and take a look at all of it. The first time you looked at it, Joe, what were your thoughts?
I was really proud of what Brady had come up with. It would have been real easy to go over the top. I felt like what he put together, and him, I say Brady. It was a group, obviously, but I liked what they did. They did something very nice. The concourse area and everything, coming over the bridge, over the end zone down there, and things like that. It could have gone over the top real easily, but then it would have gotten real expensive too. So I think being a little bit conservative the way they did, but it's going to be really nice, and it's going to last for another. Hopefully, it doesn't have to last another 90 years like the original Hawk did. But
91.
91. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. But hopefully, it doesn't have to last that long. But if it does, it's going to be fantastic. I think so.
With this luxury concourse. We played baseball at the University of Mississippi. Mm-hmm. We've done it a couple of times in the last 4 or 5 years. They went to the NCAA regional, the SEMO baseball team. And they have exactly what you're talking about at the baseball field. It is a huge open concourse. It's a luxury area, obviously, so you've got to be a big donor. But they've got tables set up. They have concessions right there. And, of course, you're a member, you're not paying for concessions, but they're making food. Mm-hmm. They've got beverages. What I thought was interesting, they've got lockers. There's like a bus station. They've got lockers. You put your lock on it, and you can put your adult beverages in there.
Oh, okay.
And so then you just go back to your locker, and that's how you – obviously they're going to serve draft, certain alcoholic beverages, but they've got lockers there where people can just bring their stuff, put it in their locker, keep it there all season if that's what they choose. But I saw that open concourse. There are so many people mingling and having a good time. It's a really great idea.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I agree. When I first saw it, back to your question, I really like that. It gives you more of the open atmosphere, and it gives you more of a game time feel versus being in your little space of a suite or a box, and which is fine. But I prefer this. Yeah. I definitely prefer this.
So when you look at the way that things are transpiring as people drive by Houck Stadium right now, they're seeing all of the activity. They're clearing the debris. And what's interesting is coming up in the next few months, you are not going to see any bulldozers. You won't see construction people there. And some people might start to think, wait a minute, what's going on? I'm not seeing any activity at Houck Field. There's a big reason why they're not going to see activity for several months.
Yep, there's busy time happening off premises. So there's things being built right now that are going to be kind of brought in and put together on site. Once they get the dirt work and the site work done, after the demo is all hauled off, I don't know the timing exactly, but there will be a delay.
I think it's in June.
Yeah, I think it's
in
a few
June
months.
is when everything is going to be delivered.
Thanks, Mike.
To Houck. Mike Rennick is here. Maybe he can speak to it a little bit more later.
I don't think he can. I don't know. Not with that look.
They're constructing, a bunch of the seating and everything, and all of the things that need to be off-site, and then they're going to bring it here. So they are working. You're just not seeing them work at Houck Fieldhouse.
Right. And that was part of the timing to be able to be ready for the beginning of the season next year. Was some of this was going to have to be done. They weren't going to be able to do it all on site. So I don't know whose idea that was, but good job. That's what it takes to get it done, so let's get it done. So.
We have had this tremendous weather. I mean, it's been such a mild winter so far with these temperatures. I think it's supposed to be 61 degrees on Christmas Day, which is supposed to be the third highest temperature on Christmas on record in Cape Girardeau. But you look at construction and how much weather plays a part in it. Now, we may have a bad weather going forward, or a bad winter and bad weather going forward, but so far, man, the weather has cooperated for them to really, dig in over at Houck.
Did you see the press box when it came down?
I did.
That was kind of.
I know there were some people in the media that who have been in that press box who were like good riddance and the whole. I didn't feel that way because I have a spot where we broadcast. It's almost on the 50-yard line. We're not too high where it's always binoculars. I mean, it is a perfect place to call a game, regardless if it looks like a trailer from the outside.
Yeah.
From where we got to broadcast, I had no issues at all.
Well, it was an actual trailer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, just sitting up on those beams. So, yeah, it was something to see it go down. That's for sure. That backhoe got in there and knocked it down and took a couple of shoves and it finally went down. So,
hey, our buddy Jeff Hansa is with the men's basketball team out in California. Of course, the director of strategic communications at Southeast Missouri State. He sends a little note here, listening to the radio show here in Riverside, California. That's where California Baptist is. They were just in Malibu for the last few days. He said, had to make sure I remember to turn on at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Definitely not used to listening with the time change. Happy holidays to everyone. By the way, Hobbs is really good on the radio. Has a face for radio.
Yeah, coming from Hansa, mind you. How many times have you ever seen him on the TV? Thank you. All right. That's for you, Jeff.
Now, there is a Joe Hobbs, Jeff Hansa story that needs to be told. Now, Hansa is one of these I don't know if you call it a genetic freak, but Hansa is one of these genetic freak people who absolutely needs to have super, super hot sauce, and he eats a lot of very spicy things. He always finds the hottest of the hot whenever we go out to a restaurant, when we're on a road trip, or, even in his personal life, when the family goes out, he wants to be challenged with the spiciness and the actual heat of what he's eating. You said, okay, I accept this challenge, and tell us where it went from there.
Well, he may or may not have been talking a little smack, and I don't take well to that, so I stand up to that, and I deal with that. We at Wings Etc. we have our wall sauce, which is our habanero-based sauce, and we take the stem off and we throw it in. So you're getting the oil, you're getting the seeds, you're getting the skin, you're getting all that heat. And
it is the absolute hottest sauce you can get at Wings. Do you have to sign a legal release to have wall sauce?
We're not that crazy.
Okay.
We're not that crazy. If somebody wants to do it, they need to be a big boy. But that wasn't enough because Hansa was talking a little smack, so I might have juiced it up with a little something extra that I had in the back. And
now explain. Tell us exactly what you spruced it up with. And I know you even know the measurements on the spice heat factor. You've even got measurements. You know exactly what's going on here.
Well, I can't explain exactly what I put in there because we're a franchise and that's against the rules. And I'm a rule follower.
Sure.
I don't like to break rules and things. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, but there may or may not have been some extra heat in that particular wall sauce that I gave.
And this is professional heat. I mean, you went top shelf, national top shelf.
Absolutely did. You do have to sign a waiver to buy this extra heat that I may or may not have bought. Just for the record.
Okay.
But yeah, Hansa, I got him.
Now we need a little more explanation. So you bring Hansa this. He's probably a little cocky. Really, this is all you got. How did it go down when he tasted the concoction that you put in front of him? How did it shake out?
Well, the fun thing about the wall sauce and then the concoction that I may or may not have produced was there's a delay. So when you take that first little kind of dab and you see what you're dealing with, you think you got it. And as soon as somebody tells me or looks at me and says, oh, okay, then in my head I count down from 3. And I go 3, 2, 1, and sure enough, then it hits. So there's a delay there, which is fun. Was
there nose running and eye running? What did you see?
He was when he finally dug in and started eating. Yeah, he definitely was. He was sweating. There was something coming off of his brow. His face was a little red. But he plowed through. But he was suffering the next day. So I'm pleased with that.
Well, Hansa chimes back in as he's listening in California. The concoction that Hobbs made was at another level, made the bottom of my ears burn. Good effort, Hobbs.
Winning. Not that I did anything extra. I followed the rules. for the record.
Now there are measurements for heat. There, you've got the terminology. How does that work for people like Hansa who really like to step it up?
It's the Scoville scale. It's
Scoville.
Scoville, yeah, and it's the capsaicin is what's in a jalapeno or a habanero or a ghost pepper or whatever. The capsaicin is what brings the heat, so it's kind of based on that. The higher, I don't know them off the top of my head anymore, but a couple million on the Scoville is like a ghost pepper. The habanero, I believe somebody will probably correct me, but it is about $1 million, I believe. And it goes up from there. A jalapeno is, I don't know, like 30,000 or something on the Scoville scale.
Oh, so not even close to a ghost pepper.
No, not even close.
Is the ghost pepper the top of the food chain?
There is. I believe there's one more that Thailand created that's a little bit hotter than a ghost pepper. So, but the stuff that I may or may not have put in Jeff's was ghost pepper extract. So you take, if you have a ghost pepper, you got all this other stuff in there that doesn't bring any heat. You take just the oil from it and put that in there, and it does what it does. So, yeah. Hence the bottom of the ears burning.
So you were peacocking around a little bit after you saw the Hansa reaction.
You've met Hansa, right?
Yes.
Of course I was peacocking around.
All right, I love it. So one thing that we want to talk about here is the new revamped menu here at Wings. And people will see it when they come in. If they are a regular, they've already seen it. But for people that may not have been here for a while or may be surprised where they have been here before and they see the revamped menu, boy, you guys have really made some changes. I mean, you've still got a lot of your staples, which obviously, are outstanding. But talk about some of the things that you've done here at Wings to kind of amp things up.
The biggest thing, I think, on that menu is the burgers. So you have two choices. So you have the what a lot of people call a smash burger, which is really great. But then also the thick burger, which both are fresh, so never frozen. But the burgers are really good. That's what surprises a lot of people is how good the burgers are.
Because they think wings, and they're not talking about burgers.
They're not thinking about the et cetera, which is a lot of different things. But yeah, so the burgers are really good. Some of the appetizers we pared back a little bit, and then the Philly cheesesteak too is another one that's a
popular item.
Really gone over well. Again, it's a ribeye, shaved ribeye meat, and has the onions, peppers, and cheese and stuff on there. So yeah, really good stuff. Being a franchise,
it's got what is called garlic aioli.
Aioli,
and if anyone has not tasted garlic aioli on a Philly cheesesteak, you can get it on anything. I mean, you can order garlic aioli. Mm-hmm. It is phenomenal. The first time I took my wife a Philly cheesesteak, and I gave her extra garlic aioli.
Nice.
She could not text me fast, and I took it to her at work, at the emergency room. Uh-huh. So I gave it to her, and I said, "You've got to try this garlic aioli." And man, she was raving about it.
Yep. We get a lot of people ask for extra of that, obviously, on the side. And, yeah, it's really good. It hits the spot. And it blends well with the flavor profile that we have with all the meat and the different things in there, too. So, yeah, good call by them.
I would have to say my favorite burger is just because of the name of it. It's the Hugh Jazz. wait. No, the Hugh Jazz
there you go.
sandwich. Explain that one.
So it's a burger. It's got, pulled pork on it. I mean, who doesn't like pulled pork on a burger? Barbecue, onion ring, and it's a big.
It's two big patties.
I was going with the big nasty. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the big nasty.
I get my burgers mixed up every now and then. But the Hugh Jazz, is the double one. We actually, when we would feed the SEMO football team, we always took Hugh Jazz's out there to them, and that's what we did for their fall practices and things like fall camp and things like that. And it was really funny because a lot of the defensive linemen and the O linemen, I always expected them to come back for another one, and they wouldn't. One was enough for them. And some of the little wide receivers, they would break it off and just do a single patty. So, yeah, it's a big burger. You better be hungry if you're going to eat that one.
These are big patties, and when we say Hugh Jazz, it is. This is the way you spell it. H-U-E, second word, J-A-Z-Z. It's the Hugh Jazz.
Yep. Hugh Jazz. Say it quickly because that's how you're supposed to say it.
All right.
Maybe not on the radio, though. I don't know.
The new burger, though, is the Mushroom and Swiss burger, the Mushroom and Swiss Diner burger. Tell us about that.
It's got the 2 smash patties on there. It has a little bit of char on the edge of them, so it has that kind of crispness to it that you'll get at some of those other places that do the smash burgers. Fresh burger again, and mushrooms are cooked to order. Swiss cheese melted on there. Fantastic. Great buns. The brioche buns are great. So, yeah, good stuff.
That's
good
one
stuff.
thing you got to keep in mind. Your buns, these brioche, phenomenal.
Yeah, they really are.
It's not just like your classic sesame seed bun or whatever. I mean, this is a brioche bun at Wings, etc.
Yeah, when we did the upgraded menu, that's what they went to with those. So got away from the sesame seed bun. So, yeah, really good stuff.
All right, we got to take our first time out. Joe Hobbs is here. He is the board president of the Red Hawks Club, the SEMO men's basketball team, in action tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, believe it or not, 9 o'clock Central Time tip-off.
At West Coast.
With California Baptist. And California Baptist, I think it was like a 7-point game. They played at 6th-ranked Arizona this past weekend. Now, they ended up losing double figures, but they gave Arizona all they wanted. They had an early lead in that game, and they're 8-0 at home. So we'll talk more about that as we go. It's the Red Hawks Coaches Show Special Edition. We're talking Red Hawks Club with the board president, Joe Hobbs. We'll take a timeout from Wings, etc. It's the Red Hawks Coaches Show on SEMO ESPN. Just a programming note, no show next week. We've got full wire-to-wire coverage of the Southeast Missourian Christmas basketball tournament, so we'll be doing hoops wall-to-wall next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Always a fun tournament. Now, the opening day and the opening session, usually the average score is about 92 to 27, but that's just the way that it goes when you've got a 16-team field and you pit 1 versus 16. Actually, my first sports radio job ever, 1995, I was in Harrisburg, Illinois, and the big tournament over in southern Illinois is the El Dorado Holiday Tournament. And I did the game or the tournament in 1995, my first sports radio job. I don't know how they let me on the air, honestly. So they have a 1 through 16 as well. A 16 had never beaten a 1 in the entire history of that tournament. And the year that I did the tournament, Hardin County, the number 16 seed. They had a 6'8" kid, real skinny, against McLeansboro, Illinois, who's the number 1 seed. Back then, they used to play this, what was called voodoo basketball. It was slow down, stall type. I mean, it was not visually stimulating, but it could be effective. And so Hardin County knocked off McLeansboro. It had never happened before. I don't think it'll ever happen in this particular tournament, considering what there is at the top in this particular tournament. But I have seen a 16 beat a 1 in a Christmas tournament.
That's crazy. That's big.
Yeah.
Wasn't that voodoo basketball was like the old North Carolina Four Corners, remember?
Right.
When they used to do it. Yeah, just slow it down and let it go. Yeah,
Now
that's cool.
There's the unspeakable talk that maybe high school basketball needs a shot clock. I don't think you're going to see it anytime in the near future. Joe Hobbs is here. Not only is he the owner-operator of Wings Etc. in Cape Jackson and now Dexter, he's also the board president of the Red Hawks Club. And the Red Hawks Club, of course, used to be called the Booster Club. That name changed a little while ago, but for people who really support Red Hawk athletics, they can get involved in a much deeper level than just buying a ticket and going to the games, or purchasing a Red Hawks shirt, rooting for the Red Hawks, watching on ESPN Plus, listening on the Red Hawks radio network. They can physically get involved. How?
Becoming a member of the Red Hawk Club. Excuse me, sorry.
Those ghost peppers.
Yeah, it's the ghost peppers.
Yep.
Even talking about them, right? You get several benefits. The football games is a great one. You get to get into the Red Hawk Club tent. You get free adult beverages, I guess we have to say on here. And then actually Wings Etc. Provides food every week. So that alone should be worth it every home game.
And now that is in the end zone. Anybody who's
– No, that is
a different spot.
out in front of the Success Center pregame.
Okay, so
tailgating.
Tailgate, okay.
Yes. And then there's multiple other things. One of the things you mentioned earlier, some parking. There's some different parking abilities. So in the end zone of the football games, down there in the east end zone, you get to park in there if you're at a certain level. And for donation giving, there's also for different levels for the Show Me Center parking. You get to park on the south side, so it's a little closer and a little more available.
They give you a parking pass, there you go.
Yep, you pull up and and it's right there. You can walk right around the corner into the Show Me Center for the basketball games. Obviously, softball, tennis, and all those. Parking is pretty easy, but there's no big benefits out there. But there's great athletes playing softball and tennis and all the other sports across country too. So
since the 2018-19 school year, SEMO has won 11 Ohio Valley Conference championships. They are the
13.
Oh, 13. I'm sorry. Well, yeah. Let's get it together, Eric. 13. OVC championships since the 18-19 school year, and they won the President's Trophy, which means the President's Cup, which means
Commissioner's Cup.
Or Commissioner's Cup.
Yep.
What did I say? President's?
Yep.
Commissioner's Cup, which means that they are the elite program in the Ohio Valley Conference. And let's face it, when COVID hit in 2020, SEMO was gonna win the Commissioner's Cup as well. So in SEMO's minds, they are back-to-back Commissioner's Cup winners, and a lot of that has to do with getting involved and supporting these student-athletes.
Absolutely. I say all the time that we're back-to-back champs, OVC Commissioner Cup champs. Isn't that right, Matt? Yeah, absolutely, right?
Matt Brucker is here.
They may not have gotten that second trophy, but we'll take it. We'll take it anyway. If UCF can take a national championship, we can take an OVC championship, right? So, but yeah, 13 conference championships since 18-19, most in the Ohio Valley in that time frame. 7 of those have been during the 21 calendar year, so another big one there. And then don't forget the gymnastics national championship there.
USGA
national championship. Volleyball won this year. They won the regular season and the tournament. Got to play, was it Kentucky? Did they play Kentucky, right? Yep. So a whole lot going on there for sure. Just winning. People, when I first joined the Red Hawk Club, people were always like, well, we'd support it if they'd win. Okay, well, how much winning do you want? because everybody's winning. Even football. People get nervous because you start 0-3. Well, look at who you played. You played Mizzou. You played the number 1 team in the country, the defending national champions. You played top 10 SIU, and played them well, and then come back and have a decent season. Basketball will start.
Okay, now the football team finished in second place in the OVC. You can count on 3 fingers how many times in their history that they finished in second place in the Ohio Valley Conference. Now, the record is not what Coach Tuke would have wanted, brutal non-conference, but this is a football program that is right there at the top of the OVC, even in years that they don't win it.
Sure, and that was his thing. He said all along he didn't want to have a football team or this. He wanted to have a program. And anybody that's followed his path since he's been here knows that he's creating something great. Really developing the student athletes is first, and then also happen to be winning some games. So, but yeah, the Red Hawk Club though, big supporters. We most of us on the board at least show up to all the games. There's a crew that sits at the basketball games, and we get a little involved, I think. Yeah, we won't get into details there. You're busy working when we're doing.
Oh, we'll get into the details. Don't worry about that.
But the Red Hawk Club has a lot of benefits. The biggest thing is a lot of people think, well, what do I get for that? Well, you do get some things, but it's supporting the student athletes. The scholarship. That's what that money goes towards, the scholarships. Summer school. Being able to bring the student athletes back for summer school and be able to participate and be able to be here during the summer to practice and get the time together as a team. And that's how you win. That's, developing that chemistry as a team. And that's where a lot of that happens during the summer and then early in the fall camps and things like that. So having those scholarships available makes a big difference, being able to bring them in for the summer school and things like that too. So, and that's a big part of what the money goes towards for the Red Hawk Club.
Boy, with Wings, etc., I know you are so involved in the community. How often would you say per week you get a phone call about, hey, Joe, would you like to get involved in fill in the blank?
Per week or per day?
All right.
It's 3 or 4 times a day, probably, just something. And Michelle and I, one of the reasons that we picked Wings, etc. as a franchise was because a big part of what Wings, etc. does and what it is giving back. Obviously it's a business, and we spend a lot of money and we want to make money. I mean, that's the reason for doing it. But a big piece of our business profile is giving back. So we try not to tell anybody no. It may only be a gift card or it may be something small, but we're going to give somebody something if we can. And I tell people all the time, don't ever be afraid to ask. You're not going to hurt my feelings by asking. The answer may be no, but don't be afraid to ask. If it's a good cause and you feel something about it, then we'll see what we can do. We'll do something. So.
Well, and I know Red Hawks club members also, throughout time to time, they get an opportunity to, meet the coaches, meet players. I mean, it's a different kind of access when you're a member of the Red Hawks club.
Yes, for sure. There's the deal we do down at the casino, tip-off lunches, kickoff lunches, things like that. At certain levels of the Red Hawk Club, you get to hang out and meet student athletes, which I think is huge. Once you get to know some of the student athletes, and you're kind of vested. You know somebody personally. The coaches get up and do their talks as well. So that's a big one there. Is doing those kickoff luncheons and tip-off lunches and things. And getting to know, at Wings, etc., Nate, when we sat down and talked about a sponsorship, the thing he came up with was our Wings for Wins. And because Michelle and we talked about, a lot of people sponsor football or basketball or baseball, and then that's it. We wanted to be across the whole board. So Nate came up with the program that allows us to sponsor, tennis, cross country, volleyball, softball, etc. And it's been great because we've had some of that access you talk about. And when you get to know some of these student athletes that we've got here, and the coaches too. I mean, the coaches, we've had some of the same coaches now for I don't know how many years, but Tuke's been here. What's this? His seventh season?
Just finished his eighth year.
Season. So and I know Coach Korn doesn't like to hear this, but I'm going to say it anyway. But every one of our current coaches has won an OVC championship except for one of them. He's in his second year, but that's okay. He's out west. He's probably still sleeping right now, so he won't hear this.
So you say you get invested when you get to know the players. You get a chance to, develop a relationship with them. Traveling with the Red Hawks, and I traveled on the bus a lot with the teams, couldn't during the COVID year. So you get to know these young men. You get to know the coaches. Sometimes I've had people say, man, when you broadcast, you act like you want them to win. Like, you get invested with a lot of these people. You're not going to be, a stone-cold homer when you're going to call a game. But, yes, of course you would like to see them have success.
There's nothing wrong with a stone-cold homer, just saying. But I get your point, yeah. You definitely, as you know them and you understand them, you understand their passion for what they're doing and how much they really want to win. You buy in. And that's what these events are about when we have the Red Hawk Club members come to them, is get the buy-in and understand what the team is. It's one thing if you just sit at a game and you see some kids out there playing football or basketball or baseball or whatever, but when you know one of them and you know what they think and you know where they're from, their background and things, it's just easier to get invested into it and buy in. So.
And some of the events, one of the very popular events is the SEMO Trivia Night and Auction. I have been involved with that several different times, and it is always popular. I never see an empty table. They usually sell out. Mm-hmm. There's a lot that goes into putting something together like that, and you're right involved with it.
Yep, I'm on that committee. I am not the chairman of that committee. We keep trying to get John Spear to be, but he keeps refusing. So
John Spear is here.
He is here.
Yes.
Hey, buddy.
All right.
But yeah,
he's signing an autograph now, but
he's closing on a house. That's what he's doing. But yeah, the trivia night is a blast. Everybody that goes, it says it's their favorite trivia night. It's everything's included. So when you buy your table, you're set. You get to have 8 rounds of trivia. We make up the questions. We have a blast doing that in the committee too. But you got every 2 rounds. There's food brought out or something brought out to get you through. All the beverages are included. There's food when you come in. It's a great night. Just a fun time.
And the
sure.
people who are delivering the food and the beverages are not only coaches but also student athletes. They give their time for that particular night.
Yep. And that's just another way to get invested, right? To get the buy-in is get to know a student athlete or a coach even, and as they bring things out. This last time, the last event, we had a lot of the coaches doing all the delivering and stuff, and they like it too. It's fun to hear some of their stories of the Red Hawk Club members and what they have to say about them and things, and as they learn, who Mary Beth is, the tennis coach, and what she's about, and then you're going to see those people at a tennis match, and that's what it's about. So, but yeah, that, and then there's also you got the Cindy Gannon Walk for Women, you got the Charlie Bruni Golf Classic. The Walk for Women is Saturday, April 23rd, and then the golf tournament is going to be Friday, June 3rd this year. So. And those registrations are not open yet. Nate hasn't got them opened up yet, but he'll get there shortly.
What's he doing? He's vacationing in California. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, he's one of them Cali boys this week, So, yeah. I think he got on a plane. He was talking about having trouble getting on a plane, but looks like he's going to get out after all, so that's good.
So they actually brought him off the plane. He got on, got situated, now out.
That's what he said, so we'll see. If you're out there, Nate, good luck, buddy.
Now, was there any SEMO fan that was more disappointed when the name change in January of 2005, where you went from Indians and Otakians to Red Hawks? Was there anybody more disappointed than a guy with the last name of Spear, John Spear?
I think he's still a little disappointed, but he can't mention it. So, but yeah, definitely right. He should have been a Jackson fan.
All right, he's still waving to the crowd. So we do want to get into this. For anybody who may be traveling a little further south in the boot heel and did not know, there is a brand spanking new Wings Etc. in Dexter. In fact, I'm going to Dexter after the show, and we may be hearkening the doors of Wings Etc. Tell us how did all of this come about?
Michelle and I, after we opened this particular location, the Cape location, we thought about doing another one, and I was just a little lazy, so we decided not to. Now, fast forward, 2014 we opened here, and so however many years that is, here we are. We decided to go to.
And what year did you open in Jackson?
Jackson was 2013, February 2013. So we decided we wanted to do a third one, and we went straight to Dexter. Dexter, to us, seems like the type of place we want to be, and it's turned out. You and I were talking about earlier. The people down there are just so friendly, just so nice. There's not much there. You got barbecue, you got fast food, you got the Mexican restaurants. So bringing our wings, et cetera, into Dexter was almost a no-brainer. And we bought a building down there on the corner of what they call Cox Corner. So it's an old building, been there since 1948. And most people know where that is. It was a bit of a beast to get. I was
going to say, how much of a challenge when you go in, because you've got a specific layout with wings about how you're going to get everything going. When you first saw it, did you think, oh, man, this is going to be an undertaking?
No. When I first saw it, I said, no, we're not doing this. And Michelle said, yeah, we can do this. So I said, okay.
Well, we know who the boss is.
There's no question about that. But it was just a beast. A lot of the supply chain issues and things like that popped up and beat us back a little bit. But great. The final result's fantastic. So we're very pleased with it. People in Dexter showed up, that's for sure. This is our second week, starting our third week now. So they've shown up and supported us so far, and we're glad to be there. Happy to be there.
And your son, Austin, started working at the Wings in Jackson in 2013. He has been in the business for quite a long time, and that is going to be his baby down there.
He's one of the assistant managers. This is his first management position. So we have a general manager down there that's from Dexter, and his name's Mark. But, Austin is going to learn how to manage and do those things, and he wants to move up in the system. So happy to let him do that, that's for sure. So.
And for those who don't know, Austin Hobbs was a terrific high school swimmer over in Jackson. How did he get into swimming?
Well, his sister was a swimmer also. She actually swam at the University of Northern Iowa for 2 years, scholarship swimmer up there. We came out of Florida, and in Florida, when you swim down there and you tell people your kids swim, they know, well, what stroke do they swim, what are their times? Around here, a lot of people don't realize it's a competitive thing. They do now because Cape Central won a couple of championships, which was great. But Austin was a distance swimmer his whole career, and one of his final swims, I don't remember the exact timing of it, but at State, he went to State his 3 years in high school, 3 of his 4 years in high school, and he actually qualified for the 50 free, which is a sprint. It's an all-out sprint. And
that's a lot different than distance swimming.
Big time difference. And the little turkey, he went in there and swam that, and I think he ended up 6th or something in State in the 50 free. He'd been a distance swimmer his whole life, so you never know, right? You never know. He had it in him the whole time. So.
And I do have to ask, how in the world did he become a Chicago White Sox fan? He dies with the White Sox.
Yeah. Well, he likes to be a little bit of a rebel, so he liked the Bulls. And so he started following Chicago sports, and he realized that not that many people like the White Sox. You know, some of you Cubs fans, you're against those. And so he did that, and he even likes the Blackhawks. I hate to admit it as a Blues fan, but he likes the Blackhawks. And so he got into the Bulls, and that's how he kind of took off on the Chicago sports scene. So.
Joe Hobbs is the board president of the Redhawks Club, the Booster Club, of course, and he's the owner-operator of Wings, Etc. in Cape, Jackson, and now the brand-new location in Dexter. And for anyone who goes to a Redhawks basketball game at the Show Me Center, they will see you sitting down on the floor. So you've got the floor seats. And it's interesting because you never engage with the officials. You never engage with the players as you're watching a game there at the Show Me Center. Tell us about how fun it is to be that close and to have kind of one-on-ones with the officials and the players, not only Red Hawk players but opposing players, because you guys bring your own material. I know.
We may or may not have fun down there. Like I said, I'm a rule follower, so I'm not, I've never been thrown out.
Although there was an incident.
I did not get thrown out.
A couple of weeks ago.
I did not get thrown out.
It was interesting. I know Matt Brucker sits down there as well, and so does John Spear and some of the really big Red Hawk fans. Moose Knuckles are represented down on the floor. So all of a sudden, during a timeout, I see the official walk over and talk with Ken Gullett, university police officer. Captain.
Yeah.
And so then, and they're pointing over in the direction of Joe Hobbs.
They were pointing in the direction of Michelle.
Okay, so they're pointing in the direction of Michelle, and so I'm trying to broadcast again, but I'm keeping an eye. I want to see what's going to happen here because I know what that conversation was going on. And then all of a sudden, here comes Officer Gullett over, and I see him having a conversation with the people there courtside. Just let us in on what happened there.
Myself and Ken Gullett sat next to each other for a few minutes during the game and just kind of watched the game and enjoyed the game.
Okay.
That's what happened. Yeah.
So inside the story of the conversation.
Inside the story. So I may or may not have jumped up, and one of the other team's players might have mouthed off to one of our players, and like we talked about earlier, I'm vested in these kids, and I know some
You're
of
able
them.
to stand up at a basketball game?
I thought you were, but depends on the referee, I guess.
Okay.
So apparently Ohio Valley Conference referees don't like when people stand up when they're courtside, especially when they're larger human beings like myself, apparently. So, but I didn't say anything mean or rude.
Sure.
But I just mentioned my particular thoughts on the case of the foul that the particular person waged on our player. So,
and how tall are you, Joe?
I'm 5'18".
Okay. So, and as Ken was leaving, he did happen to say one more thing about your size, right?
He said I can't stand up when I'm as big as I am. Yeah, somebody your size, and plus wearing the red coat, red blazer. So yeah, he said somebody my size shouldn't be jumping up on the sideline. Apparently, so. But,
Joe, you're just too darn big, man. Come on.
That's sort of what he said. Yeah.
All right. So if you were talking to somebody who was coming to Wings, etc., for the first time, what would your recommendation be to try what?
Most people ask me what's my favorite thing, and I know it's kind of, I don't know, it is what it is. The bone-in wings, I mean, they're fantastic. Now, that being said, please don't order those right now because they're way too expensive and we don't make any money on them. But that's part of the supply chain thing we talked about.
Now explain that, because with COVID and employment issues going on right now, I mean, the price of chicken has really gotten out of control. You've been in this industry for a long time. Have you ever seen anything like this?
Nothing like this. We had an issue a few years back where the price of chicken wings got pretty high, and we thought we were never going to see that again, and it's way beyond that now. So. It's just the supply piece. We're just getting the actual supply. I think the manufacturers of the chicken wings, the chickens aren't not growing, so they're still doing their thing. But the manufacturers of what they do with them can't find help. So it's just like everything else in the world right now. When you go to the shelves at Lowe's or Walmart or Menards or whatever, and there's empty shelves, and you just can't get the supplies done. So same thing for us. Just it happens to be food. So, but yeah, they're super expensive right now for those bone-in wings. But
and for anybody that looks at the menu and says, "Boy, it seems a little more expensive for the wings." Well, yeah, I mean,
because it's more expensive for the wings.
Something that is beyond your control.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We've had to take a couple of price increases just because that's the way it's working out right now. So, and then trying to find help, that's another ball game altogether. Everybody's dealing with the same things. But as a business owner, it keeps you up at night sometimes, that's for sure. So.
Okay, so they ask you your favorite as far as the entrees go, and you go with the bone-in wings.
I go with the bone-in wings.
Your favorite appetizer, because mine, new item, the portobello mushrooms.
Oh, yeah, those are really good.
Those are my favorite.
We rolled those out as a LTO I think last year, and yeah, they went over really well. But for me, the cheese curds are my favorite.
Cheese curds, all right.
I've always liked those. So, yep, for sure.
And you guys, you have good ribs. I don't know if people know that you've got ribs here.
Yeah, it was interesting. Opening in Dexter, we assumed we wouldn't sell any ribs at all or any barbecue really, but we have. People down in Dexter are even like, wow, our ribs are really good. So that was a pleasant surprise. I figured we'd sell a case every 6 months maybe, and we've already reordered a couple times. So. Yeah, we're going through some ribs in Dexter, Missouri. So,
and believe it or not, you look at the menu, and there is a seafood area on the menu.
On Wednesdays, you can get our crispy fried shrimp for I think it's 59. I don't know, whatever. It's on the menu somewhere, but maybe not that one. But the special's the other. It's 59 cents. Ryan's telling me it's 59. So thank you, Ryan. But yeah, and they're fantastic. 59 cents a piece. You can get as many as you want. So get a little dipping sauce with that. I like the tweener sauce. A lot of people eat the chow chow sauce with the shrimp, but really good.
And not just shrimp. Fish and chips.
Fish and chips on there. You can get a fish sandwich. What else is on there for the seafood side? There's something else in there.
All right. You've got the jumbo shrimp and the crispy fish sandwich.
There you go. Yep. So good stuff, though. Being part of this franchise, I'm really proud of the way they go source the food. They don't just get something that's cheap and easy. They always find something that's really good, and it's good quality food. So
I don't know about you. I'm one of those guys, at the end of the meal, I need something sweet. Just a little something sweet right at the end of the meal. I'm not a coffee drinker. Some people will stay and have a cup of coffee. You've got a couple of tremendous desserts.
Which one? So, the Oreo churros.
I'm a chocolate guy, but,
so you do the churros,
but these raspberry churros are terrific.
The raspberry chimneys, they go well. They get a little powdered sugar on there and some raspberry sauce. Yeah, really good. And those Oreo churros, I mean, those are with that cream sauce on there. Just fantastic, yeah. Yeah, and again, people don't realize that at a wing joint you can get a dessert. So
that's why we're here. We're here to inform, and this is something that really I think people have been wanting for quite a while. The DoorDash opportunity. Mm-hmm. You order it's a free app. You just go to your app store, download the DoorDash app, you set up your account. It's quick and easy, and you can get wings delivered to your front door. How did this come about?
It came about with COVID, obviously. When we shut down the dining rooms, we had to figure out a way to get our food out to people and pay the bills to stay open. So we joined on with DoorDash. I believe we have a national account with them through the franchise system. So and it worked out pretty well, and we just kind of stayed on board with that. So and it's a good partnership.
How popular is it?
We are up to, I believe it's about 25% of our total sales go out through either to-go or DoorDash. So 3-4 years ago, that was maybe double digits, 10-11%. So just with the way the world's gone in the last few years, it's really gone through the roof with takeout in general. Delivery, takeout, whatever you want, whichever end of it you want to go.
Fantastic. Can you believe we spent an hour today together?
Nope. I'm sure everybody else is struggling, but hey, it feels like about 10 minutes, man.
Fantastic. All right. Don't forget Red Hawk men's basketball, the final game for the basketball squads prior to conference play and prior to the holidays. Tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, the Red Hawks will play California Baptist for the first time ever. And again, thank you, Joe, for your undying loyalty and support of Red Hawks athletics. Because anybody who has ever been to a game, you name the sport, they have seen Joe Hobbs at the game. And the final question I have for you, honestly, how many pair of long pants do you own? And can we fit it on one hand? You are a man who is always wearing shorts no matter the temperature, although I have seen you in long pants. How many pair of long pants do you actually own?
I have 2 pairs of blue jeans and I think maybe 3 pairs of dress pants. Funerals, weddings, those kind of things.
So it doesn't even fill up one hand?
No.
All right.
Yeah. There's no point to it.
Good to know. Joe, thanks so much.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it. That's Joe Hobbs, board president of the Red Hawks Club, owner and operator of Wings Etc. in Cape, Jackson, and Dexter. Again, no show next week because of the Southeast Missouri Christmas tournament. We'll be back the following week right here in Cape Girardeau. We've got ESPN Radio coming up for you. Thanks to Mike Rennick, Rachel Cook, Ethan Chow, our River Radio team here at Wings Etc. Eric Sean saying so long and enjoy the rest of your Monday, everybody, and Merry Christmas from River Radio.